Another law change this year is with regard to Virginia's law related to service members. So everyone is probably familiar with the federal Service Member and Civil Relief Act that provides service members different protections under the law. There is a portion of this law that applies to residential tenancies. And Virginia also has a similar law to the federal law protecting service members and specifically with regard to residential tenancies. There was a term in Virginia's law that conflicted with federal law, and the legislature corrected or amended the Virginia law in order to bring it in compliance with federal law. So the law previously required that the station that a service member was being transferred to be more than 35 miles away from the residence in order for the service member to be able to terminate a lease early in Virginia. And that's not a requirement that's included in the federal SCRA. In the federal SCRA, there's no mileage requirement. So if a tenant receives a change of station order, then even if it's 10 miles away, the federal SCRA allows the tenant to terminate the tenancy effective 30 days after the next date on which rent is due. So now Virginia's law also allows the tenant to do so without the mileage requirement. Another portion of the law change with regard to service members is that a service member may now also terminate a lease when they receive a stop movement order in response to a local, national, or global emergency for an indefinite period or for a period of 30 days or more. And because of this stop movement order, the service member is prevented from occupying the premises. In those situations, the service member can terminate their lease. Previously, service members were already able to terminate their lease under the federal and state Service Members Act if they retired, if they joined the military, if they had a change of station for those reasons. But the stop movement order, there was no protections for service members to be able to terminate their lease. So now under Virginia's law, they can do so. And in order for a tenant to exercise this right, they must serve written notice on the landlord, letting them know what date they want their lease to be terminated, and a copy of the stop movement orders. The lease end date or rent responsibility date for that tenant is still going to extend for at least 30 days after the next day on which rent is due. Even if the tenant is requesting an earlier end date,